Well, hello. We're going to be doing some testing today. There's a claim made a year or two ago that stun conversion ignores toughness entirely, and we're going to find out if that's true. So I modified a leather turtleneck to have full coverage of every body part. That's super important because it means that every hit I take will always be reduced by exactly this value. I switched its class to heavy, so hopefully you guys can take more than one hit before they die. And then 100% of resisted cut damage is converted to stun. It just makes the numbers bigger. It's easier for me to see. Now we'll get into what exactly stun percent is when we get to armor. But it's important that our combatant here, one meant to be dealing the damage, is using the Dachi. The Dachis deal no stun damage. So all stun damage on my character's health bars will only be from that conversion, the stun percent conversion. Now we have two characters. They're both exactly the same. The only mitigating armor they're wearing is the modified one. And the only difference is that one has 100 toughness, and the second one only has 50 toughness. 100 toughness means 55% reduced damage. 50 toughness means 0% reduced damage. Not only is that easy enough to do, but it's going to be a pretty big difference, pretty obvious difference. And then you'll see that the combat stats are negative. I had a theory that if I put it negative, I can make a character that never blocks, which is great when you want them to get hit. But apparently, the game functions as if it's 0, so you still get the occasional block and whatnot. But animations are in reverse. So they'll hit, then they'll lunge forward, and then they'll wind backward from the attack, which I think it looks hilarious. You guys can see that. But it doesn't change the damage numbers, so we'll leave it. And yeah, I'll just jump right into it. So let's verify our terms here first. Toughness, let's see from the pop-up 55% damage resistance. Review 0% damage resistance, exactly as intended. Safety net combat. And then they're both wearing the exact same turtleneck, which is full coverage on every body part, 57% cut resist, full conversion. This is exactly the same. And verify that there is no blunt damage on the Dachi. And that's all that matters. So we're going to get rid of this guy. And just attack him. Okay, basic overhead swipe. Dealt 9, minus 27. And the health bar is 63. So if we do some quick math, 63 plus the 9 cut damage we took means that 72 is good health plus cut, which means the rest of it has to be stun, which is 100 minus 72 is 28. Let's see if I can take double swipe attack, both to the stomach, which is pretty annoying actually. But since I already wrote that down, I can just do this math. 7 and 5 minus 21. And sorry about all the outside noise. Okay, so back to my calculator. I started with 63 before I got hit this time. And we have minus 11. So I took 52 damage. And we're going to subtract from that the 7 and the 5, which leaves 40. Between these two hits, I took exactly 40 stun. I wish I had paused so I could get the breakdown of each cut, but that'll have to do for now. And now she's unconscious. Okay. I happen to know that the side swipe is the same damage as the overhead, so we can use that. Minus 27, and I'm at 51 stomach. So 51 plus 20, 71, which leaves 29 stun. I can't do any math with just the one cut though. Come on. Really should have given this guy better. Ooh. Oh, they hit different body parts. You bugger, come on. I hate you. I want at least 2 numbers here. So I'm going to do this one first, just to verify and get out of there. Just to verify that my taking damage is the same. 6 and 4, what? Oh, now he has an injured chest. Well, as long as he doesn't get hit again. 6 and 4, minus 19, and minus 14. And that left my head at 73. Head was the first hit. 73 plus 6, 79 means 21 stun. And then 80 plus 4 is 16 stun. And then, well, let's just didn't get a hit to something really good. Yay! Basic main slash 8 minus 24. And that left me left leg 67. 67 plus 8, 75. Just 25 stun. There we go. 14 minus 19. 11 minus 14. And he's even kind enough to get 2 different body parts. So it was the stomach first this time. Stomach is 65 plus 14. 79, we use 21. And then chest is 74 plus 11. 85. And then left arm. 18 minus 24. Left arm is 57 plus 18 is 25. Now, since I have the full suite of data on the second trial, we're going to be working with that. So we'll start with Zoo, my first character, and we're just going to write down everything here first. Main hits was 8 minus 24 yields 25 stun. And then we had the double hit, which was 6 minus 19 is 21 stun. And then 4 minus 14 is 16 stun. Jeez. That's what you get for trying to record in the morning. Alright, Inu, taking the exact same hits, minus 24, 25 stun, 14, minus 19, 1 stun, and 11, minus 14, 15 stun. Now, before we go any further, take a moment and double check this toughness value. So we have 18 So write it out first, it's easier to follow. So Inu has 50 toughness, which means he takes unmodified damage. So with 18, his main hit he took 18 damage. Zu takes 55% reduced damage. So if we modify 18 by 1 minus 0.55, we get 8.1. So on this hit, he took 18 cut damage, and Zu took 8 cut damage, which is exactly 55% reduced damage. And just to be sure, oops, 0.45, 0.45, and the last one, 11, 14 times 0.45, 6.3 again, and then 4.95. This one could be a rounding issue, since the game isn't showing you any decimals. It's probably just rounding. Other than that, everything lines up exactly how I would expect: 8, 6, and between 4 and 5 somewhere. So that toughness is working exactly as expected. However, you may have noticed something weird. For instance, these values here. Zu is taking significantly reduced cut damage, but the armor is displaying the same cut damage reduction. So we're going to do another calculation here. Remember, they're wearing the same armor, which is 57% cut resistance, all of it converted into stone. So, I wonder if I can have it on the screen at the same time. Yay! And my math as well. So, this math is pretty easy. We're going to do... Actually, we're going to do Inu first. 18 plus 24. That's that first major hit here. So 18 damage taken plus the 24 reduced by armor is 42 total damage before armor applies. So 42. And just to double check that, we have 0.43. So if we take the full damage of 42 and we reduce it by 57%, as the armor should function, we get 18, which is exactly what happened. It took 18 damage, and the armor reduced the rest. Perfect. Working exactly as intended. And then we have this value. So if we do 8 plus 24, it's 32. And what's 32 times 0.43? Well, it's 1376. Doesn't quite line up, does it? That's because toughness is applied last. Right? Actually, let me write this one down here. 32 times 0.43 equals 1376. Something's not right there. And you may have seen it here. Minus 24 lines up exactly with minus 24, minus 19, 19, 14, 14. The armor is applied before toughness, which is actually pretty important, because they're taking exactly the same amount of stun. Exactly. These numbers should be reduced by half. Zu is taking 30-some% more damage than she should, which is ludicrous. Right? This. Okay, well, before I go on a rant, we learned two things today. That armor applies damage reduction for toughness. And the second thing we learned is that because of this, toughness does not apply to stun conversion. So all the numbers are there, all the numbers are on the screen, all the numbers are in the video. If you want to double check this, or make your own mod and test it yourself, you are welcome to. And here is evidence for the future. Now, things we have left to test. This is another thing from the post. And this is important, but I don't have time for it today. So just make a note of it, and maybe we'll come back. Does the order of equip, the order that you put your armor on, matter? For instance, if you put on this leather turtleneck with 100% stun conversion on before, say, something with 0% stun conversion, the first hit you take, it applies armor one at a time. Alright, so whichever one applies first applies as normal, and then it moves forward. So let's say you have the leather turtleneck on first. That's the first layer that applies. Then it reduces incoming cut damage at 57%. And that entire 57% becomes stun damage. According to the post, that stun damage is not reduced by the next layer of armor. So if your next layer of armor happens, then you have the remaining 43% that's not creating stun. Compare that to the other way around. If the other layer applies first, then you have the full cut resistance of that armor without creating any stun. Let's say it's 40%. Say it's 40% resistance. Then you only have 60% times 57%. So instead of creating 57% of cut damage as stun, you're creating 34% cut damage as stun. But you're reducing incoming cut damage by the same amount. You just, depending on the order that you equip your armor, adding extra stun. So that is something I need to test. But again, we'll have to come back to that another time. Oops. Yeah, I don't want to save. But yeah. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully I don't get super frustrated during the next video. It doesn't make any sense for it to be this way. It's basically a relic of before there was stun conversion in the game. Which is, now that there is stun conversion, the order actually matters. It should have been changed. It needs to be changed. When you're talking about values of up to 80% stun conversion, or even 100% on your basic leather vests, that matters. That really matters. This needs to be fixed. Anyway. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time. This is Turtleneck out.